Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com, and in this tutorial we're going to look at how to detect when the surface, the drawing surface, is created or destroyed. And the reason we need to do that is we're going to move on to drawing frequently and regularly to the surface, because we need to do frame by frame animation, and we don't want to have it that we're drawing to the surface when it's not there. For one reason, because you need to make sure that your application is not active when it's not visible to the user. So you don't want to be trying to update a surface or draw stuff when it's not visible. And another reason is that if you try to draw to a surface that isn't actually there, then of course you're going to have problems. Now, one way we could try to deal with this problem is in the activity we could override the on pause and on resume events, because on pause is called whenever the application is going into the background for some reason, either because it's being literally just going into the background or because it's being destroyed. And on resume is always called when the application starts, whether it's starting for the first time or it's just being brought back into the foreground again. But for our purposes here, it's better to actually detect when this surface here is actually being created and destroyed, because that is a real clincher here, and we never want to try drawing to the surface when it's not there. And when it is there, then it means the application's visible and we can certainly try drawing to it. So we're not going to use on pause or on resume here. What we're going to do is actually look at the behavior of the surface itself, and to do that I'm going to go into my game view, which extends surface view, and I'm going to say here set callback, no, not add callback, set on yeah, I've actually completely forgotten. Is it set callback listener or add callback listener? You know what, I think it's get holder dot add callback, that's the one. So yeah, now I remember. We're actually, to actually look at the behavior of the surface, we have to deal with this surface holder, and therefore it's the actual holder that we add a listener to. So in fact, let's just copy this code here, and what I'll do then is I can then say holder dot add callback, and I'm just going to say add callback this, and this expects something that implements surface holder dot callback. So if I then click this error and go to let game view implement callback, then that's going to say implements callback up here, and hopefully it's added me a couple of methods. In fact, it hasn't, but if I then click the error and then say add unimplemented methods, then we get down here these three methods. So we've got this surface change, which is called if your surface is resized, and which you might want to pay attention to. And I've got this surface created, which is called when the surface is displayed. And when your application goes into the background, so it's not visible, the surface will be destroyed, and then later on of course it's created again. And one thing I'm going to do here to simplify things a bit before I continue and while I remember is I'm going to go to my Android manifest, and I'm going to go to the XML view, and in this activity here, so this is the activity that uses this surface, I'm just going to do control space here, and I'm going to set screen orientation, control space again, to portrait, because I don't want the user to switch into landscape mode, because then I'd have to worry about dealing with that in my game, and I'd rather they were just forced to turn the phone around to look at it the right way, which actually is going to be portrait mode anyway, which is kind of how the phone will normally appear. Okay, so we've implemented these methods, and now the only thing that I want to show you in this tutorial is how these actually work. So I'm just going to say in here log.d, and I'll supply a debug tag here, and I'll just say changed, and I'm just going to copy that, and that JWP is just my initials, and let's put created in here and destroyed in here. Actually, that's in the wrong place, so I'll put that there and format it, and let's just add the andrew.util.log. And I hope this works, because often I find the debug stops working and I have to restart Eclipse to get it to work again. And I think once I actually had to restart my computer to get it to work again, but that seems quite incredible, and maybe I imagined it, but let's take a look. So actually, if we check the console here, then it's installing, and when it installs, I just want to show you how when these methods get called, so you'll understand what they do, and it's pretty straightforward. So there's the application, and I'm just going to go to DDMS here, and let's filter on that debug tag, and you can see that we've got surface created and surface changed, and it's the created one that I'm really interested in here, because we're probably not going to do anything with the changed. And there's my application, and now I'm going to just click on the kind of home screen button on my phone, and we can see here that it's gone to the home screen, and because the application's vanished, the surface has been destroyed. And if I look at the recent apps here and then go to my game again, then again it says created and changed, and once again, whenever I go to the home screen or navigate away from it, the surface is destroyed. And I think if I bring up a menu in front of it, I don't think anything happens. So that's like a transparent menu, and that doesn't seem to cause it to do anything. So the bottom line is here that we're going to engineer the app in such a way that it runs a thread which will update the surface whenever it actually exists. Let me just tap it so that we get the on tap handler. There we go. And whenever the surface goes away, we're going to stop our thread doing stuff, and we're going to stop drawing to it. And it's really, really important to get this stuff sorted out at the beginning, because if you're not careful, you'll end up constructing an application that will not respond well to things like people navigating away from it, or receiving a phone call while it's running and stuff like that. So you have to make sure that, or changing it into landscape mode, although I've stopped it doing that. You have to make sure that your application will handle all those kind of eventualities. And I find even the examples that come with the latest Android SDK, at least on my phone, they seem to break if you go to your home screen when the application's running, and it's worth ironing that out and nipping it in the bud at the start. So that's it for this tutorial, and until next time, happy coding.